पुमज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So here we are seeing Vidura asking Maitreya Rishi. Maitreya Rishi is describing to Vidura about the genealogical table or the descendants of Swayambhuva Manu. Swayambhuva Manu's one daughter named Akuti is handed over to Daksha. Daksha and Akuti begot 16 daughters, and 13 of them were handed over to whom? They were handed over to Dharma. Yes, Dharma. One of them was given to Agni, the daughter named Swaha. Another daughter, Swadha, she was handed over to the residents of Pitraloka. And the last daughter, the most famous and very chaste, Sati, she was handed over to Lord Shiva. So when this description was given by Maitreya Rishi to Vidura, Vidura is asking this question because Vidura had heard there was a big quarrel between whom? Between the father-in-law and his son-in-law. Daksha Prajapati and his son-in-law, Lord Shiva. The quarrel, this quarrel between father, son, father-in-law, son-in-law, daughter, this is common. We find this in the material world. But this quarrel went to the extent of Sati giving up her body. Shri Krishna Balarama ki. And it is very surprising. It's not that, there's a quarrel between some uneducated, some low-class people who are not very cultured, uncultured people. Somehow they fight and kill each other. This was not a fight of such categories of people. Daksha Prajapati is a very respected personality, performing all kinds of rituals, yajna, and such a very noble man. Lord Shiva, his qualities we'll be finding in this verse in detail. He is such a nice personality, and Sati, she is such a respectable lady. Why these things happened amongst them? So this is the question. So now we'll get to the details. The answer for this question we'll find in the later part of this chapter of the Bhagavatam. In today's verse, we find 5 important qualities mentioned about Lord Shiva. So we'll be focusing on these 5 qualities. Let us see. Kastam charachara gurum nirvairam shanta vigraham. Who is Lord Shiva? Lord Shiva is charachara guru. He is the spiritual master or guru of all animate and inanimate. Charachara Gurum. Then he is Nirvairam. Nirvairam meaning without enmity. He is not envious of anybody. Then Lord Shiva is Shanta Vigraham. He is a peaceful personality, embodiment of peace, Shanta Vigraha, very peaceful. And then Atma Ramam, he is satisfied in himself. He is not greedy. He is self-satisfied. Atma Ramam Katam Dveshti Jagato Daivatam Mahat. Jagato Daivatam Mahat. Jagataha Mahat Daivatam is a very great, even there are many demigods who have taken charge of administration of this material world. Among all those devatas, among all those demigods, Lord Shiva is Mahat Daivatam. He is the greatest among all the devatas. See, devatas meaning they are all having nice, good qualities, they are all devotees of the Supreme Lord. And among all the devatas, Lord Shiva is the greatest. Jagato Mahat Daivatam. So these are the 5 qualities mentioned about Lord Shiva. So let us see one by one what Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport to these 5 key words of the points mentioned in this verse. The first one, Chara Chara Gurum. The simple dictionary meaning, if we go animate, inanimate, or something which is moving. Chara means moving, and that which is not moving. But the explanation given is there are certain living entities who are chara, or maybe like we can put it in this way, active, spiritually active, especially referring to the devotees of the Lord, Vaishnavas. They are engaged in their eternal activity of service to the Lord. And we find certain other categories of living entities, though externally they may appear to be active, but their spirit soul is sleeping in a coma stage. The natural attraction of the spirit soul towards the Supreme Lord is now completely covered by the modes of ignorance and passion. We human beings, whatever, having come to this material world, we are a little covered by the mode of passion more. But there are certain living entities like ghosts, demons. They are completely covered by the mode of ignorance. So now Lord Shiva, he is the spiritual master of such fallen, almost inanimate living entities like the bhutas, pretas and demons, and he is also the spiritual master of great Vaishnavas. Therefore, he is known as Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. He He is the number one or the greatest among all the Vaishnavas. So in this context, he is called as Chara Chara Guru. Prabhupada says, Lord Shiva takes charge of reforming persons who are ghosts and demons, not to speak of others who are godly. See, Lord Shiva, so he has taken charge of reforming who are ghosts and demons. So just like devotees are also, except there some allocation will be done in the temple. You take charge of this activity. You take charge of this department. Or especially in preaching also, you take charge of preaching to this category of visitors, this category of people. You take charge of preaching to this area, this district or this state and country. Someone made me in charge for that. So here we see Lord Shiva, he has taken that charge. He is in charge for reforming persons who are ghosts and demons. Who would come forward for this? Taking charge for reforming, preaching to or uplifting ghosts and demons. None other than Lord Shiva. So he is such a great personality. On one hand, he is worshipable object of the dull demons, and on the other hand, he is the best of all Vaishnavas. And another point to mention is, Lord Shiva, don't think that, okay, he is amongst all those dull-headed, ghostly, pretas and bhutas and such category. They're all unintelligent. Somehow he preaches to them. No. He has got his own preaching party, his own sampradaya called as Rudra Sampradaya. He has got his own preaching party to disseminate the knowledge of devotional service to the Supreme Lord. So, this is Lord Shiva. That's why he is known as Chara Chara Guru, the spiritual master of the entire world. So, we speak of titles, Jagat Guru, Vishwa Guru. It is not something ordinary. Just like, especially in our country, we find many gurus or spiritual teachers for their community. They'll take some donations, collections from their community people, and those people also community, he is our community guru. Some reverence they have. Some during festivals, events, they are highly, lot of reverence, veneration, they glorify and everything. So whatever, community guru or guru for one sect of people and sub-communities will be there. No. Okay, that is one category. But here we are speaking of Jagat Guru or Vishwa Guru, who without enmity, who are so benevolent to preach to all categories of people, risking their own, themselves, their lives, whatever. So, this is Jagat Guru. Chara Chara Guru. That is Lord Shiva. Next point, Nirvairam, free from enmity. Normal understanding or simple dictionary meaning of enmity, a person being envious of another person. That means what? He doesn't tolerate the progress of another person. This whole entire material world is full of enviousness. I am envious of you, you are envious of me. We compare with each other, and someone has something more than me, I become envious of him. And I try to pull his leg down, I'll just try to snatch that extra thing what he has, or I'll try to compete and become something more than him. See, these are all different manifestations of enmity. Now, okay, the ultimate or what we say genesis of this enmity amongst all living entities in this material world is that we are all originally envious of the Supreme Lord. I want to become the Supreme Lord. I want to command over or rule over all living entities. Everyone should listen to me. I am not ready to submit myself to another person, but everyone should submit to me, should become submissive to me. See, this tendency, this is what has brought us to this material world, kept us bound in this material world. So now here we are speaking of Nirvaira, a quality of Lord Shiva. So this word, Nirvaira, we find in the Bhagavad Gita also. Just last week, we were hearing one class given by a devotee. The last verse of the 11th chapter, which is said to have the essence of the Bhagavad Gita. So which is that verse? Mad karma krin mad paramo mad bhaktas sangavarjitaha. Then Nirvaira sarva bhuteshu yas samaveti pandava. So there also 5 qualities are mentioned by Lord Krishna. If you have these qualities, you will come back to me. So what are those? Mat karma krin, perform my activities. Engage yourself in working for me. Mat karma or Krishna karma, mat karma krin. Then mat paramaha, make me as the goal of your life, supreme objective to go back to Godhead, mat paramaha. And then mad bhaktaha, become my devotee. Engage in devotional service, loving devotional service unto me. Follow principles of Navamida Bhakti mentioned in the Bhagavatam. Become my devotee, mad bhaktaha. Sangavarjitaha, the 4th one, be detached from anything material, material relationships, material possessions, positions. These are all temporary. Sangavarjitaha, be detached. Be detached from association of worldly minded people. Sangavarjitaha. And the last one, Nirvairaha sarva bhuteshu. Don't be envious. So then, okay, don't be envious of another man. So how it is practically applied, especially in a case of a devotee? See, we want to become now Nirvairaha, following in the footsteps of Lord Shiva. So what should we do? How it translates into the activity of a devotee? So that we find Srila Prabhupada mentioning in the purport of that verse. Prabhupada says, a devotee of Krishna is friendly to everyone. Therefore, it is said here that he has no enemy, Nirvairaha. So how is a devotee Nirvairaha without enemy? Why? Because he is friendly to everyone. So the next question would be, how is this? How can a devotee be friendly to everyone? Usually friends meaning those who help us in our difficult times, to those whom we confide our whatever things in our heart, on whom we have trust. Yes, this person, he'll be with me, he'll not cheat me. This person, like say, who will rejoice in my progress. See, these are the terminologies, or this is the way we understand who a friend is in this material world. But actually, a real friend is something more than this. What is it? Let us see. So therefore, it is said here that he has no enemy, nirvairaha. How is this? A devotee knows that only devotional service to Krishna can relieve a person from all problems of life. Therefore, he wants to introduce this system into human society, this system of Krishna consciousness into human society. Therefore, he is a friend of all living entities. Because a devotee is very clear. It is only devotional service to the Supreme Lord which can give relief to all problems of life. Any other method we take up to alleviate people from varieties of problems in life, those are all temporary. Those are all not substantial. A devotee is very clear with this. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, Dukkha, Doshanu, Darshanam. In spite of whatever technological advancement we have made, scientific advancement we have made, in spite of different governments, different parties taking over, in spite of passing different plans, 5-year plans, 10-year plans, whatever, in spite of all of these things, with all good faith they would have done. Highly intellectual people with all good faith, hard-workingly, they have worked for it. Still, it is a reality that this material world is a place of dukkha-vaya, and it is ashashvata. Birth, death, old age, disease, nobody can cross over. If at all you want to get relief from these things, it is only by the performance of devotional service to the Supreme Lord can a living entity get relief from all these miseries of this material world. So a devotee is fully aware of this, he is fully convinced with this, and this is what he wants to offer to the entire world. Devotional service to the Supreme Lord, so that all the people of this material world be benefited, come out of this miserable condition. So what does he do? He wants to introduce this system of Krishna consciousness into the human society. If we see human society, different aspects are there, different categories are there. During the earlier times, there was this Varnashrama Dharma, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. But of course now the society is categorized under different heads. Especially, we can say rich people, some people we call below poverty line. We categorize with, like say, through their designations, through their professions. There are some doctors, there are some engineers, there are some businessmen, politicians, teachers. How to apply the system of Krishna consciousness amongst these various categories Each category is different. Their aspirations are different. Their understanding is different. So, how to introduce them to this message of the Supreme Lord? So, this is where a devotee works. And also, how even amongst human society, just like we find, with this one category we spoke of, related to like profession, all these things. Now, say a family, household life, there how this Krishna conscious principles can be introduced. In case of, say, unmarried bachelors or whatever, youngsters, there how this Krishna consciousness can be introduced. For small children, how they can be introduced to this knowledge. So like this, if we go on in various categories, different spheres of human society, a devotee endeavors to introduce this system. A Krishna conscious person knows that if a man is suffering, it is due to his forgetfulness of his eternal relationship with Krishna. Therefore, the highest benefit one can render to human society is relieving one's neighbor from all material problems. See, this is the root cause. Our forgetfulness of the Supreme Lord is the root cause of all the things, why we are here. So a devotee addresses this root problem. So he helps others, and very specifically here Prabhupada is using the word one can render to human society is relieving one's neighbor. Who is a neighbor? Say a person is staying in one house. The person, the people or the family who is staying next to him, the next house, we call them as neighbors. Correct? They are our neighbors. Maybe left side, right side, in front, behind our house. So they are all our neighbors, we say. So how to relieving one's neighbor from all material problems. Therefore, the highest benefit one can render to the human society. So a devotee considers in this way, how can I relieve my neighbor from whatever the material problems? If we think individually, just like many are bachelors staying in a room, maybe in one room, some 2 people, 3 people, some 5, 6 people, we stay together, we are staying in one bed. My neighbor means the person sleeping on the other bed next to me. We are staying in one room. My neighbor means the person staying in my next room. It depends on where we identify ourselves with, to what extent we have influence over. Think like this, there is a person, he is the in charge of the entire room, he is the leader. He has influence over his neighbors also. So he will be contemplating how I can introduce this Krishna consciousness to the other roommates. Another person, maybe he has influence over the entire building or whatever. So he'll think of introducing it to neighboring buildings. One person, he may be head of one village. So he can think, how can I introduce to my village and my neighboring villages? Like that we can go on up to the head of the country, the state. So here 2 things are there. Janma sartaka kari karapara upakar. How I can make my life perfect and then help others. So how I can make my family Krishna conscious, help my neighbors. How I can help my roommates and help my neighbors, whatever. My countrymen, how I can introduce the system of Krishna consciousness and help my neighboring countries also. So, like this if we go on, This is the mood or the attitude of a devotee. Always he'll be contemplating in this particular manner. How I can make my life perfect, my neighbor's life perfect, and this goes on extending. So this is the life of a devotee. So this is real nirvaira. This is how a devotee is a real friend of all living entities, because he wants to give them relief from the real problems of life. The examples are mentioned, the examples of Jesus Christ, the example of Prahlada, the example of Haridas Thakur. Great examples of how selflessly all these, especially Prahlada's story we have heard. He was sent to school, and there next to him on the same bench other children are sitting. And who are those children? They're all sons of the same category of Hiranyakashipu, other demons. The demoniac people, they have sent their children also to the same school of Shanda and Amaraka. So Prahlada is preaching to them. They are his neighbors there. So he's preaching to them. What are you doing? Whatever, the classroom is there during break time or whatever. So he introduces this Krishna conscious message to all of them. So this is exactly the life of a devotee. So in this way, he is nirvaira, free from enmity, by being friendly to everyone. And how to be friendly? By helping others to come out of the real problems of life. Okay, this was the second one. Quickly we'll go ahead. The third one, Shanta Vigraham. Lord Shiva is a very peaceful personality. We find many instances. In one instance, in the Bhagavatam 6th canto, we find Maharaja Chitraketu, while flying in his airplane, he finds that he passes through the Kailasa region, where he finds Lord Shiva being seated amongst all siddhas and charanas and perfected beings in an assembly. There in that assembly, Lord Shiva is seated as the president of that assembly, and he has his wife, Mother Parvati, on his lap, and he is embracing her. Looking at this, Maharaja Chitraketu passed some derogatory comments. He criticized Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva heard this, but he did not care for it. He did not become bewildered or disturbed by the comments of Maharaja Chitraketu. But Mother Parvati got very angry and she cursed him. So there we find Lord Shiva was very peaceful. Another instance when Lord Shiva, even in the presence of Mother Parvati, touching his body, even when he was pierced by the arrows of Cupid, still he was undisturbed. He was, like Prabhupada explains, he was sober, dhira, undisturbed personality. So in that sense, he was very peaceful. And in the same chapter, we'll be finding ahead how Daksha, in a big assembly of all the devatas, how he criticizes openly Lord Shiva. You are like this, you are amongst all demons and ghosts, you are so unclean, you live in crematorium. Openly he criticizes Lord Shiva like anything in front of all the devatas. Still, Lord Shiva was undisturbed. So this is the quality of how he is a Shanta Vigraha, a very peaceful personality. And then he is Atma Ramam, he is always satisfied in himself. He doesn't require anything material, anything external for his happiness. He is always chanting the holy names of the Supreme Lord, Lord Rama's name, Ramante Yogino Anante, and is completely satisfied in himself. So that is Atmaramam. And Jagato Daivatam Mahat is the greatest among all the demigods. The different devatas, just like their own administrative heads. In our country also we have this experience. There will be elections, and some people will be voted into power. They'll become different, they'll take up in charge of different ministries. Water department, agriculture department, this financial department, all these things. And their term is for 5 years only. After their term, again elections will be there, and different people, set of people, different party may come into power, and they'll all be replaced. Likewise, even devatas also, their tenure is maximum for 1 manvantara. During that time, they take up in charge of different water department, air department, fire department, and they are in charge. And after their tenure, their life is over, another set of devotees, they take in charge of that. But Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, they are known as Chiraloka Palas. From the beginning of the creation till the end of the creation, they'll remain. Other devatas, they may come and go. In that sense, Lord Shiva is known as Jagato Daivatam Mahat. Mahat Daivata of the entire world. So, in this sense, Lord Shiva having all these wonderful qualities, in spite of this, how he can be the object of envy to anyone, and especially for a respectable personality like Daksha, how he became so envious of Lord Shiva. And in between them, the father and the husband is Mother Sati, who is such a respectable lady, noble lady. She is known for her chastity. Among chaste women, Mother Sati's name comes first. That's what Prabhupada mentions here. And she becomes a victim, and it goes to such an extent that she has to give up her life. So this is the question, and in the next portion we'll be seeing why this happened. We'll conclude with this. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki